Okay, whatever. Nice. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Okay. Weird. So, yeah, just gonna do some random babblings today. Vacation's over, basically, even though the sun's still shining and I don't have a job. When you don't have a job, you're always on vacation, right? Something like that. I don't know. But thanks for joining. It's Monday. Get to work. Get your coffee. Get medicated. Oh my gosh, I think I forgot my meds last night. Right, because we went out for dinner at 6. And we didn't get home to like 8 or 9. Right, we got home. Yeah, we got home at like 8:30. Played football after dinner. Right, me and the youngin. And I take my meds at 7. I forgot my meds. Oh no. Oh no, it's the end of the world. I'm gonna lose my shit. Gonna explode into the nothingness of voidness and emptiness of madness and sanity. Remember that chick stopped insanity? First of all, this is what I wanna check this out. How many mental illnesses are there? The next question that was automatic was how many mental illnesses can someone have? Isn't that up to the doctor's discretion? You have this, you have this, you have this. Fill out this form, fill out this questionnaire, fill out this. Oh, I asked you a Q&A, and now guess what? You have ADD. I fill out another Q&A, you have ADHD. I mean, how much of these questions are leading? You know, these are leading questions. I just took a questionnaire. What was it, like 2-3 weeks ago? Whenever I said here that I have a new diagnosis of personality disorder of recklessness and narcissistic fibrosis. Is that a thing? I don't know. Not related to narcissism. Anyway, and the questions were most questions were this phrase and then a question. To what extent? Da 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 da. To what extent? Da 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 da. To what extent do you not kick someone's ass because they said this or that? Was like, that wasn't the question, but that was basically what they're asking. To what extent do you, your emotions or your feelings or your rationality? And I couldn't get around that. What do you mean, to what extent? What do you mean, to what extent? To the full extent of my being, period. If something bothers me, if someone is like doing this, is sitting next to me in a movie theater, whether it's a stranger or my child, I'm going to say, hey, knock it off. So, you're in my space. To what extent? To the full extent. Knock it off. Get your finger off. So I'll do that. Anyway, the exact number of mental illnesses is not a fixed figure. Of course not, because there's always a new one coming out, as the count depends on the diagnostic classification system used and how specific conditions are categorized. Would you like to know what that is? The diagnostic system, classification system. There's alterbehavioralhealth.com, NIMH, National Institute of Mental Health.gov, WHO, World Health Organization, if you don't know who that is, Cleveland Clinic, and USA.edu. Hold on, I think there's more here. Where is, that's it. So there's no DSM-5. Anyway, according to the World Health Organization's International Classification of Diseases, 11th revision, It lists 161 categories in its chapter on mental, behavioral, and neurodevelopmental disorders. General estimates. So everybody, medical sources, and I guess everybody combined state that there's 200 types of mental health disorders. Yeah, that's so over 200, 160. Let's just call it 161. Let's be like, I mean, come on, 161. It's and all we talk about is like the big ones: ADD, ADHD, bipolar, manic depressant, clinically depressed, schizophrenia, autism, because that one is, are you born with it? Does it come from shots? Can you just get it from nature versus nurture? Asperger's you're born with, Down syndrome you're born with. So we don't really include those, do we? Right? But they are diagnosed. Like, hey, look, there's something different with my baby compared to all the other babies in preschool or daycare, whatever. Can you help me out, doc? Oh, your child has Down syndrome. Your child has autism. Your child has Asperger's. Your child has scoliosis. Your child has sickle cell anemia, something like that, right? So those aren't really, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so go fuck yourself. 161 categories. Categories. Not diagnosis, categories. 100, not illnesses, categories. In other words, me, there's the bipolar type 1, bipolar type 2. When is it going to be a bipolar type 3? It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter, you know what? This is bipolar behavior, but it's not 1 or 2. It's a third kind. Yeah. Bipolar type 3. Let's do it. Get it on the books. All those in favor at DSM-V5. I get paid more with more medicine. So how many, I don't know what this one is though. Let's go back. How many illnesses can a person have at once? That's the second. There is no theoretical maximum to the number of mental illnesses a person can have simultaneously. While DSM-5 lists 300 distinct conditions, so now we're through 161 to 200, 300. Clinical reality typically sees patients with 4, 5, or 6 co-occurring diagnoses through cases with more or possible. You know what I want? I want to be, what's the one where you change your personalities all the time? What's the, because schizophrenia is like voices in the head, right? That's not like that one joke. And What About Bob when he says rose is red, violets are blue, I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I. That joke, that was funny at the time because we didn't know that much about schizophrenia, right? But now we do know that that's not right. Like someone who has 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 personalities living in them, and they all have different names and different heartbeats. That's been scientifically proven. They have different heartbeats, different breathing patterns. I think even the walking gait is different as well. So I want to know, where's the one where like I want to have like one person or one personality. How do you spell schizophrenia? There's a Z in there somewhere. SCHIZOP phrenia. Schizophrenia personality disorder. Let's check this out here. Schizoids is a cluster A personality disorder characterized by a pervasive pattern of detachment from social relationships and a restricted range of emotional expression in interpersonal settings. That is not me. That is not me. Number one, I don't know what cluster A personality means. Number two, detachment from social relationships. I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. If you know me, and you don't, because I'm at 0, 0 still. If you know me, I I love people. And restricted range of emotional expression. Wide range of emotional expression. Trust me. I mean, I'm bipolar. I go up and down, both ends. So anyway, um, moving on to the symptoms here. Is this just voices in the heads? What is it? Emotional coldness, apathy, lack of interest in close relationships or sexual experiences? That I'm the complete opposite of that. Sex, yes, please. That was where was that from? What was that from? Gold member. No, the first one. Austin Powers. International Man of Mystery. Sex, yes, please. Um, Often prefer solitary activities. Appear aloof or indifferent to praise, criticism. I always say thank you to praise. Criticism, I always say fuck you. So, and may possess a rich internal fantasy world. I do have that, but that's because I'm a writer and I write a lot of creative stuff. And when you write and you make up stuff, that's fantasy. You're making up shit. So, solitary activities, though, solitary activities, man. Everything is a solitary activity if you want it to be. You know? Remember Forrest Gump playing ping pong by himself against the wall? You don't need another person. Anyway, causes, diagnosis, treatment. So there is no. What happened to voices in your head? Schizoid personality disorder. No, I want schizophrenia. Schizoid. Schizophrenia. Mayo Clinic. Why not? Schizophrenia is a serious mental health condition that affects how people think, feel, and behave. It may result in a mix of hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking and behavior. Hallucinations involve seeing things. Hallucinations involve seeing things or hearing voices that aren't observed by others. Delusions involve firm beliefs about things that are not true. People with schizophrenia can seem to lose touch with reality, which can make daily living very hard. People with schizophrenia need lifelong treatment. This includes medicine, talk therapy, and help in learning how to manage daily life activities. Because many people with schizophrenia don't know they have a mental health condition and may not believe they need treatment, many research studies have examined the results of untreated psychosis. People who have psychosis that is not treated often have more severe symptoms, more stays in a hospital, poor thinking and processing skills, and social outcomes, injuries, and even death. On the other hand, early treatment often helps control symptoms before serious complications arise, making the long-term outlook better. I got to send this to somebody I know. Yeah. Whether she reads it or not is up to her, but this is what's going on. Schizophrenia involves a range of problems in how people think, feel, and behave. Symptoms may include delusions. This is when people believe in things that aren't real or true, which is totally this person I'm thinking of. For example, people with schizophrenia could think they're being harmed or harassed when they aren't. They could think that they're the target for certain gestures or comments when they aren't. They may think that they're very famous or have great ability when that's not the case. Or they could feel that a major disaster is about to occur when that's not true. Most people with schizophrenia have delusions. Hallucinations. These usually involve seeing and hearing or hearing things that other people don't observe. Okay, disorganized speech and thinking. I don't know about that one. People with schizophrenia talk with other people. It's weird. This is weird because, like, the person I'm thinking of, I don't want to say who it is. Very close, near and dear to my heart. But she is a she, so I guess I'll say she, her. It's weird when we talk. It's either a great conversation and she's organized in her speech and organized in her thinking and she can speak really well, or she is disorganized and she's all over the place. Uh, the answers people with schizophrenia give to questions may not be related to what's being asked. Yes. Or questions may not be answered fully. Yes. I have to ask her. Just for example, when this first started, I think it was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I was like, every time I call now, you don't answer. It takes you forever to get back. What's going on? And her response was a voice message, and she said, "Oh yeah, the reason I don't hear my phone anymore is because I put it on silent. Take it the fuck off of silent. It's me calling you. Okay?" Um, yeah. Do the math. You can figure out probably who this is. I just don't want to say. It's just too personal. It's not a lover. It's not a girlfriend. It's not my mother. So that one leaves so many she's in my life and who it could be. But this is weird. Extremely disorganized or unusual motor behavior. I don't know. She's 25,000 miles away. So I don't see that everyday life, stuff like that. I don't see that. The last time we spoke, she gave me a tour of her house, which looked pretty good, small but good. She had a cat, and everything looked pretty organized. So I don't know. Negative symptoms. People with schizophrenia may not be able to function in the way they could before their illness started. For example, they may not bathe, make eye contact, or show emotions. I don't know about that. They may speak in a monotone voice and not be able to feel pleasure. I don't know about that. I mean, it's weird because she seemed all fine. And then she told my mother, and my mother told me that she's hearing voices in her head, which is right here. Is it delusions? Was it delusions? Or was it hallucinations? Hearing things that other people don't observe, right? Hearing voices in your head is something that other people aren't observing because it's only in your head, you know. What did I want to talk about? How many? Yeah, 300 diagnoses on the DSM-5. And how many can you have? You can only have 6. I want 10. I want 10. People with schizophrenia usually are diagnosed in late teen years or early 30s. Men, symptoms start late teens, early 20s. Women, symptoms begin late 20s, early 30s. There's also a group of people, usually women, who are diagnosed later in life. It doesn't come for children being diagnosed. So she was diagnosed in her late 30s. No, she was not diagnosed. This whole thing started in her late 30s. Withdrawing from friends and families. I don't know about not doing well in school. I don't know about having trouble sleeping, feeling irritable or depressed, probably lack motivation. I don't. She owns her own cleaning company and she's making money. This is a weird thing. When to see a doctor when you want to give them all your money for medication. Helping someone who may have schizophrenia. How do you do that? Yeah. If people you know have symptoms of schizophrenia, talk to them about your concerns. While you can't force them to seek help, you can offer encouragement and support. You can also help them find a healthcare professional or mental health profession. I did. She lives on the island of Tasmania, and there's 2 clinics on that whole island, one at the north and one at the south. And I sent them to her. Whether she went and saw them, I don't know. But you know what she did see? She says, "Oh, I see she doesn't see a psychiatrist, she doesn't see a psychologist. She's not a therapist either. Counselor. I see a counselor. Counselors are there just to they're like re-solidify all the positives you think about what's going on, this negativity thing. So if she is hearing these voices, as my mother said, and she wants to then be in denial of that, you go see the counselor and you say whatever it is you got to make up, and the counselor says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, you got it. You're on the right path. Yeah." Because the counselor is not educated in the schizophrenia. The counselor is educated in encouragement, motivation, positivity. You hear voices in your head, but you don't really hear voices in your head? Your mother says that? Okay. Oh, I just let the cat out the bag. Okay. So, but you said she made that up, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if it's true. She could just say, I'm talking to a counselor, just to make me be quiet about it. But the same shit keeps happening over and over again. So, yeah. It isn't known what causes schizophrenia. Researchers believe it's a mix of genetics, brain chemistry, and environment can play a part. Change certain naturally occurring brain chemicals, including neurotransmitters called dopamine, glutamine, may play a part in schizophrenia. But no imaging studies show changes in the brain structure and central nervous systems of people with schizophrenia. Well, researchers haven't yet been able to apply these findings to new treatments. The findings show that schizophrenia is brain disease. Risk factors. Life experiences such as living in poverty, stress, or danger. Check, check, check. She's been there and done that. Subrenacy and birth issues. Don't know about that. Such as not getting enough nutrition before, after birth, lose weight, was that toxin viruses before birth, after brain development. Nope. No. Healthy baby. Taking mind altering, also called psychoactive or psychotropic drugs as a teen or young adult. Check the box on that one. She came home one day and she had a hole in her tooth. She's like, check it out. I got a hole in my tooth. I can almost feel my tooth. She would blow air out through the tooth. Like, how do you get a hole in your tooth? I was young. I didn't know how you get a hole in your tooth. I do know how you get a hole in the tooth now. Methamphetamine. Yeah. That'll eat your bone, teeth. Complications: suicide, thoughts, suicide, anxiety disorders, and obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, depression, misuse of alcohol or other drugs, including nicotine. Misuse of alcohol, I love that. You know how you misuse alcohol? You drink it. That's it. One beer, one shot, one glass of wine, one Chardonnay, one sangria, one champagne. Doesn't matter. One is done. That my condition, what I've learned over the years, I can have a beer if I nurse it for 6 hours. I can have one beer. That's it. That's how long it takes me to have that one beer. If I have a fast beer, if I drink a beer within like an hour, I might as well just leave and go home, because it's going to take 5-6 hours to like shut off, to go to sleep. It's like having a cup of coffee after like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. I won't sleep. So it's the same thing with alcohol. It's weird. I won't sleep. So, if I drink mass quantities of it, I pass out, and then I wake up with hangover, and the bipolar is probably going to come out and be like, and I don't want that. So misuse of alcohol, one and done. Please, you can't drink responsibly. The only way to drink responsibly is not drink it. Is to drink water. That's it. Not being able to work or attend school. She owns her own business. Many problems and homelessness. In the past, yes, not anymore. Social isolation. I would say yes to the social isolation. I don't know her social circles. Like I said, she's in Tasmania, but I do know she lives alone. Her cat, she inherited from a friend who passed away. And when I say her friend, this lady I'm talking about is 40. How old am I? 44? I'm going to be 45. So it's 42. All her friends are like in their retirement, like upper 60s, 70s. According to my mother, that's all her friends, her social circle is old fucking farts who are dying. She doesn't have anybody her age. She did send me some pictures recently in February of her birthday, and she did have a group of people who looked like they were her age. Cool. So where are those people? I don't know. So I don't know what the social isolation, and plus they live in the bush out there. Like everybody's in the bush in Tasmania, so they all want to be socially isolated. Just leave me alone. Health and medical problems, being victimized. Okay, the victimization thing is in her mind because of all these hallucinations and delusions of grandeur that she brings up. They're easily disputed. When I let her talk and I let her ramble on about her memories, that she, oh my gosh, don't you remember this? Don't you remember this? We were at the movie theater and we were there with her uncle and we watched this movie, and I'll listen to it. I'll go, okay. I'll go, I was at the movie theater with uncle and I did see this movie. And then I ask her, what year was this? And she'll tell me the year. And I go, oh, that movie came out this year, not that year. So your memory is not really there. Please continue your story. No. It was. Okay, look at this. And when I send her IMDb when the movie came out, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Her memory is her memory. That doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. So there's that, the victimization and the altering of memories. And no, like you can't really talk to her about like this is what happened. And when you try to ask her, like, okay, tell me about this memory, then it keeps every time it's a new change of the same story. So it's hard to know if she's actually there. Who am I talking to, right? Aggressive and violent behavior, very aggressive with the way she talks, though people with schizophrenia are more likely to be assaulted rather than assault others. Right, because the aggressive speech gets the other person to punch them in the face. Not that I would, but I can guarantee you my mother and her, if there's in the same room, you know, kitty cats like to. That was a tangent there on the schizophrenia thing. What was I going about here? Schizoid. I like that word. Schizoid. Wow. So roughly 45 to 65% of people in the entire world meet the criteria for at least one disorder. Brave search bar through Neurolaunch, Amen Clinics, GeneSight, Quora, and Nemigrator Cleveland? Nemigrator Cleveland. It's telling me that over half the world's population is mental. Over half. So statistically speaking, you could make the argument, you could say over half of government is mental. Over half of the people that run the water and the sewer and the trash and electricity and athletes. That makes sense when you think about American athletes. And every year there's always some NFL football player beating the fuck out of his wife or kid or taking a gun to a club, getting locked up, over half of school administrators are mental. Over half of students are mental. No wonder why the world is going where the world is going. If over half are mental, that means the majority of the people, when they raise their hands, are voting for something that they think is nice, but is actually mental. These fucking doctors. If you got rid of money, you would get rid of all of this stuff. You get rid of all of this stuff. If you got rid of money, there would be there would, I'm telling you, there'd be, you know, there'd be no motivation to put somebody on drugs because you're not making a profit anymore. So now the only motivation is actual healing them. So there'd be a lot less people on these medications because the real people that don't need medication, I think I'm one of those people. I could work through this with simple yoga, meditation, working out, long walks, breath work. Breath work works. Fasting, intermittent fasting, going and just talking to somebody, but not to get a diagnosis and not to get more drugs. Just talk to them. Talk to the psychiatrist, psychologist, the counselor, therapist, curator is what it's called here in Sweden. Because there is a bit of that challenge, that give and take. Like sometimes she'll ask me a question, can't think of any off the top of my head right now, and I'll just push back. Oh. So my youngin, he has a bonus dad and a bonus sister, as he likes to say, and that's what we say here in Sweden. So that's fine. And she asked me, so how's it going with that? And I said, it's fine. And she goes, well, doesn't your young one talk about him? I go, sometimes he talks about his new brother. He's got a new, not bonus, but actual half brother through his mother. So doesn't that come up in conversation? I go, yeah, sometimes it comes up on his end. I go, and she goes, what do you say? I go, absolutely nothing. I said, absolutely nothing. Dad, what is it? My bonus dad, he can fucking jump to the moon and back. Crickets, nothing. No acknowledgement of that guy, no acknowledgement that he's there, nothing. And so the curator will come back to me and go like, don't you think you need to do that? Why? And I come back, why? Give me the reason why. Speechless sometimes. The last time she said, well, it's a part of his life and it could affect his emotions. It's that. I go, yeah, it is. And it's a part of mine, but I don't have to acknowledge it with speech. I've never said a word to the guy. I don't have to. I don't need to. This is another guy who is for 7 days a week and 7 nights a week, possibly, most likely, having some influence and other way of raising my son and our son, because his mother's still alive. So it's our son. I don't want that. Just as whenever I find a bonus mother, if that happens, his mother, will not want that on him. Ain't no other woman going to raise my kid. I can guarantee you she'll say something like that or think something like that, right? So why do I have to then, whatever, right? With his bonus sister and his brother, it's a little bit tougher. I can't remember off the top of my head, but maybe I might say something like, okay, cool. I don't say nobody's names. I have not uttered their names out of my mouth, not once. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm proud of it. It is what it is. It's when he's with me, it's me and him and his older brother, the three of us, and that's how it is. And when he goes away, then it's him and his mother and her new family, and good for them. And but I can't stand it when he comes over and it's a lot of times it's music, So it's like, where'd you get this song? Where'd you get that song? And I'll text his mother, and I'll be like, okay, where's where, who taught him Eminem and all these? You know, he's too young to be listening to this, and other artists. A lot of the fucking football, the FIFA football. You know, on when you're playing FIFA, it's edited, but when you put it on the Spotify, it's fucking fuck this and fuck that and uh, what's that one? Why are you always in the mood? Fuck around, act like fuck. It's like, wait, we going with our 9-year-old? Listen to this? I don't think so. So where does it come from? Oh, it can only come from one other source. Where is he going to get it? And I'm not blaming. I'm just thinking it's possible that it comes from there. I can go on to the Spotify's and I can look and go, okay, look at all these songs that homeboy listens to and now his mother's listening to by default. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's where it comes from. Okay. So, you know, you want to prevent that, but it's kind of, you know, how do I prevent it when I'm here and he's there with his mother? Can we listen to this? Sure, put it on and boom. And then now you got an Eminem jam track for the next hour and you're all singing it and you're all, you know, fuck you too, bitch. Call the motherfucking cops. I'm gonna kill you and them motherfucking loudest fucking dogs. Right? Whatever it is. So I don't know. I don't know. On these tangents and shit. What do you do? You know? What do you do? That's why movies are so cool when the hero, when John Wick just fucking kills everybody. Just kills everybody. And he's the last one standing. He's like, there, okay, now it's my world. Right? That's why Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World is such a great song because it's so true. Everybody does want to rule the world. If I ruled the world, there'd be no money. Water would be free, food would be free, housing would be free, just like sunshine is free, and just like breath is free. Period. Yeah, going off on tangents. It's so funny reading about mental disorders and mental illnesses and this and that, and oh, it's so funny. Okay, so I've got the bipolar. I believe I'm bipolar type 2. I always forget. And then, you know what's funny is I went onto my 1177, which is a website here in Sweden, where you can look at your journal and you look at your chart. And I clicked on the diagnosis. My diagnosis isn't there. It's not there. I've got the bipolar something, and now the personality disorder. And those are both gone. And my back, I had a disc broke, or a slip disc, or herniated disc, or bulging disc, one of those three. That's all gone. Whatever my diagnosis, I need to get my diagnosis back so I can go and be like, hey, look, I can't work. I got my diagnosis. Give me money. That's how this country works. So I got to work on that. But I just think it's funny. And so I got two. I got the bipolar and I got the personality disorder. People tell me a lot, just in conversation, that I've got ADD or ADHD, just in conversation with talking, because they're like, you're all over the place. But hear me out on this real quick, and I might be done. Sorry, 40 minutes, damn. When I talk, people like to interrupt me and ask a question about what I'm saying, not realizing that most likely the answer to the question will be said if they would just shut the fuck up and interrupt me. Don't you ever feel that way too? Like, for instance, if I say the truth, like when I was 24, I had open heart surgery, and then they want to ask all these questions about it. Just shut the fuck up and let me. Yeah, when I was 24, I was born with a hole in my heart. I didn't have insurance. My family didn't have insurance, so I didn't get it. I turned 18. I thought I was a superhuman being like every 18-year-old. I got really sick when I was 20. I had endocarditis, a blood disease. I had to go into the hospital for 7 days. I'd be pumped with penicillin and amoxicillin. heavily regulated and heavily watched with an eagle's eye by like 7 nurses, because if you put in penicillin and amoxicillin at the same time, it crystallizes and coagulates in the bloodstream and you'll die. So they had to do penicillin and then to flush with saline for half an hour and then to do amoxicillin, which is weird. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to die here. Like, no, we're flushing your system now. I'm like, but you just put in the penicillin. The penicillin, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't remember. And then the flush and then amoxicillin and blah, 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 something like that. I forget what it is. Some other, I could be wrong on those 2 drugs. I had 2 drugs and they crystallize in the blood. If you put them together at the same time, you don't flush the line with saline. Okay, fine. That was a scary time. So then when I became a UPS employee and I got that government cheese, well, it's almost government cheese, but it's red carpet rollout, not a HMO, PPO. It's the PPO, the preferred whatever, the PPO, got the PPO insurance. And I went, as soon as I got that, I went right to the doctor. And I was like, yo, doc, I'm tired of getting sick all the time. I'm tired of, avoiding metal. And it's everywhere at UPS. It's at the orthodontist with the braces. It's all over the place. Now that I got the insurance, can I just get sew it up? Like, oh, the insurance might not approve you, but I want to do the surgery because that's how I make a living. So they approved the surgery and I got the surgery. And now I'm better. Here I am 20 years later. So when I say that, and I rarely ever say that, people mostly have to see me at the pool or the beach and they say, oh my gosh, you have a scar yet? And then they want to know about it. And then there's interruptions. It's like, shut the fuck up. And then they tell me I'm the one with ADD. I'm the one with ADD because I'm all over the place. You're the one asking questions that are all over the place. My story is going to be linear. Your questions are going to be all over the place. So, but bipolar, personality disorder. I'll take an ADD, ADHD. Give me the diagnosis. I ain't going to take my medication. I've already said that. The medication stops here at lithium. I'm done with that. But I'll take, if I get the ADD, that's a third. What else can I get? I don't want the schizoid. I don't want the schizos. I don't want the schizophrenias. OCD, it's just a diagnosis. Am I really OCD? I'm not really OCD. I'm really lazy when it comes to cleaning. I'll clean the whole house one day, maybe 4 times a year. And it's like, oh, it's spotless. And then it slowly gets more cluttered and disorganized and whatever it is that it is. Like the clothes are nice always, the floor, I got that robot vacuum, that's nice. But everything else, I mean, the TV stand, it hasn't been dusted since I moved into that place, and that's been 2 years. And I could care less. Like if I dust it, the dust is going to go everywhere, and you sneeze. But if you just leave it, it soon becomes that one color of dust, and then it's fine. And then it's like, did you paint that way? Yeah, I painted that way. Don't touch it, please, because you'll mark it. How many diagnoses can I get? I don't want more diagnosis where they tell me, yeah, it looks like you have a coffee. There's coffee diagnosis. There's coffee. There's coffee diagnosis where people, they need help weaning off of caffeine, I should say, not coffee, but caffeine, which kind of makes sense when you think about the Monster, Red Bull, energy drink crisis, whatever it is. In this country, you got to be 15 and over with a valid identification of some sort. So every once in a while, you'll see a teenager like this Red Bull, and they go, "Let me see your ID," and they pull out their passport. It's like, oh my gosh, to buy a Red Bull or Monster. But hey, I mean, if you haven't drinking one, just take a shot of a Monster and do this. Feel your heartbeat. Feel what happens. You feel your heartbeat, drink a shot of Monster, and then see what happens with your heartbeat while you continue to feel it. And it's scary. It's scary. So yeah, I guess we'll just end it there. That'll be all. all my babblings for today. Check in on some other day. I don't know. I mean, I don't want, like I said, but if I could get, I'll take an ADD, I'll take an OCD. That's 4. 5 or 6 co-occurring diagnoses. So it would be the 5th one. Eating disorder. They could turn my fasting and what I do with fasting into an eating disorder. So how much fasting do I have to do to that? Do I have to do a Jesus fast, 40 days and 40 nights? Lose 50 kilos, look like a stick. You have an eating disorder. No, I'm just fasting like our heavenly Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That could be 5. Borderline personality disorder. Well, I do live close to the border of Denmark and Sweden. But does that count as borderline? I don't know. Substance use disorders. Isn't food a substance? Isn't coffee a substance? Water's a substance. What is a substance? Aren't all things substances that go in? Not just drugs, but substance? Snooze could be a substance. I should start snoozing. I get the substance use disorder. I don't know. Maybe not substance, but the autism spectrum is huge. Yeah, I don't know. But look, here's this one from Amen Clinics. About 1 in 5 Americans experience some form of mental illness each year. 1 in 5. Congress is 535 people. I believe it's 535 people. Congress. 1 in 5. So 5 goes into 535. 1, 35 is 6. 5, 6, yeah. 167? Is that right? 107. 107 times 5, reverse it, is 5. Yeah, 107 Congress members are fucking ill mentally. No wonder why that country is the way that country is. 107 of them go up to vote every time. They're like, right? So, like, yeah, that's it. I'm done. I got me too. How many more to get that medicinal marijuana in this fucking country? That's the only one I'll take. You want to give me more? I told him that. I told him at the last meeting, both of them. I says, listen, you want to give me more diagnoses, and you want to give me more medicine. The only medicine I take is cannabis, lithium and cannabis. That's it. Fuck that. Fuck you and fuck that. Put me on some workout regimen. Put me on a regime where I don't have to look for a job and distress of money bullshit because my slip disc is still there, even though my diagnosis is not 1177. And now I got my fucking mental going. What the fuck you want from me? You want me to do all this shit for you? I ain't getting nothing back. That's not how life works. Sorry. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye-bye.